And we are back with our segment from episode 137 of the Dosage Podcast here with Rob, Justin, and Cody. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
What's up? So, Cody, I presented a question to them as they arrived tonight for their segments. I'm going to present it to you. Our last opening segment, we talked about Microsoft acquiring Blizzard and Activision. Sony clapped back recently after that podcast and purchased Bungie. Are you familiar with this? What's your take on it? What do you got? He's muted. We can't hear any of your take.
Oh!
Now he's really loud.
There's a button. There's a button I didn't press. I think it's a pretty weak clapback. I mean, Bungie really hasn't been really relevant since Halo, and now they don't have Halo, so it's kind of not great.
So, additional information on that. Bungie has confirmed that their game will remain multi-platform and it is available for free on Steam. So is this even worse of a situation for the purchase than from Sony, or is this good?
I don't think it really matters, honestly.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay, just curious your thoughts. Any other, do you play Destiny?
A little bit, I did, but not a huge Destiny. I mean, it has its fan base.
It does. Okay.
Is that fan base worth what, like they say, almost $4 billion?
Definitely not worth $4 billion, but
no.
And they lost some people when they made Destiny 2. There was a big jump from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. So
they lost.
Yeah, I don't think it's a great move.
Yeah. Not a good move, but we'll see. Time will tell. Who knows? Maybe all of a sudden they make just Destiny 3 and it's just this greatest game of all time. I don't think so, but who knows, right? You never know. But let's get on to our Elimination Chamber segment. This was, of course, selected by you, Cody. Elimination Chamber 2017. We got one thing to play, though, right before we do that.
The following announcement has been paid for by the
The NOW, Nerds of Wrestling, back for this segment here. One night only. So, what made you pick this pay-per-view out of all the ones you could have selected from any company out there? Why Chamber 2017?
Well, I felt like we needed to get in the Chamber mood, considering WWE's having their Chamber on the 19th in Saudi Arabia.
Speaking of, did you see it starts at 11 a.m. for us this Saturday?
Yeah. I work Saturday mornings, so that doesn't help me.
Nope.
It's better than them doing it on, a Thursday like they normally do?
Yeah, generally it has been on Thursdays in the afternoon, which I try to watch it while working, and that doesn't work well.
Yeah. But, I mean, Elimination Chamber's coming up. I figured we might as well just stay on par for what we're doing. We did Royal Rumble for the month of Royal Rumble, or do Elimination Chamber now, and next month maybe force over to a fast lane or something and go on to a WrestleMania after that. So I figured it was the smart thing to do, and this is one of my favorite recent Elimination Chambers. Really three matches on this card were very top tier in my mind, so I enjoy this card.
So, little thing to note too, I don't know if you had it in your notes, this was the first pay-per-view with the redesigned, updated Elimination Chamber. So that was a big thing, and JBL even flubbed the lines.
They did a lot.
Say that again?
They mentioned that a lot.
They did. They love to emphasize that. They love to emphasize the statistics of the match itself. They love to talk about the structure. JBL got corrected, and I could tell he got yelled at in his headphones from someone backstage when he said the weight of the chamber being wrong, and then he's like, I'm sorry, 10 tons of steel. So he got yelled at in his ear, because WWE is notorious for that. They're always yelling in their commentary people's ears during shows to say the correct thing, which, I mean, if you got to get statistics out there, you want to be consistent and accurate, but numerous commentary people over the years have complained that they get yelled at during shows in their ear. Some people can handle criticism and critique, some others can't. And that's just kind of been a constant as far as the commentary crews
That's
through the years.
vintage right there.
It is vintage. That's Vince being controlling of his product because, in my opinion, he is a fantastic commentator. But that is my opinion. Anyways, let's keep going here. Go to what other things that you thought were. You said 3 matches were really good.
Yeah, I mean, really, there's really 3. I really enjoyed the tag team turmoil match. I felt like it was very back and forth. It definitely was a long match, but it played a good story with a bunch of different tag teams. I enjoyed it. American Alpha ended up coming out with the win. I really enjoyed Randy Orton versus Luke Harper. Rest in peace.
Yeah,
Really underrated when he was in WWE.
Yeah, and that story, even before this, like just the build to this and then the build to Mania, is one of my favorite storyline builds like that WWE has ever done, with Randy Orton breaking down the Wyatt family from inside and everything like that leading up till WrestleMania. This is after Randy Orton won the Royal Rumble, so we don't know who he's going up against. He's going to go up against the winner of the Elimination Chamber match later in the night. But Luke Harper was not trustworthy of him at this point. And he got kicked from the Wyatt family, and this was his kind of redemption match. But it was a really good match, and it really showcased how good Luke Harper actually was, even as a singles competitor. And then the third match has to be the Elimination Chamber match. John Cena coming in as the champion. AJ Styles was just a champion at the Royal Rumble. He lost it at the Royal Rumble to John Cena, and he had tons of momentum going into that. Baron Corbin is at the biggest time in his career. You have Dean Ambrose and The Miz. Dean was a champion right before AJ Styles. Miz, we know how great he is, and he was the Intercontinental Champion at this time. And then Bray Wyatt, who was the kind of outcast of the match, but ended up coming in there and winning the match, which was something nobody really saw coming.
So, looking back in some of these character designs, like Dean Ambrose wearing the IC belt and his jeans and like black tank top, looking like trash.
That's how he was after the Shield.
I know he was, but I'm just like, when I think of the IC belt, I think of
where they had him wearing the white tank top that was stained yellow.
Well, yeah, I think of
Luke Harper.
Well,
No, they had Ambrose did it for a time too.
Oh yeah, I know Luke Harper did it because he was forced to, and he used to say he would wear the tank tops to the gym and everything else, get them real dirty on purpose, and then he would wear them in the ring as this mess of a tank top.
I just think of the prestige of the IC belt. I think of class. Like the Miz carried that belt very well. To see that pretty white belt on trashy Dean Ambrose, like, I don't know.
Yeah, but you didn't and still don't like him. So
no, I don't care for him. I'm glad he got help and went through rehab, but.
Well, I mean, leaning forward here, Shinsuke Nakamura has had the title for how long, and he's only defended it 4 times, all on TV. Well, no pay-per-views.
Spoiler: he loses it Friday.
Well, yeah, he loses it. We know that from the dirt sheets, but he's the longest reigning Intercontinental Championship of this era.
Here's the thing, and I know you'll say Kenny Omega, but here's the thing: he's been injured throughout a good chunk of this reign too. They've been sitting him on the sidelines. So yeah, it's unfortunate his reign has been diminished and set to the sidelines when they.
That's not an excuse for the U.S. title either, though. It's been the same.
It's not, but that's the problem with too many belts, right? They're not doing things they should be doing with them. Like, these should be opportunities to showcase, hey, will these people be good champs? Should we give them a shot at the main belt? Let's see how they carry a mid-card title. That's the testing ground. That's the proving ground. And a lot of times you see that. We saw that in the old days. We saw that with Shawn Michaels. Stone Cold, Triple H, all of them went through The Rock. All of them went through the IC belt. Cena with the U.S. title.
5 to 10 years ago, we're just not seeing
But that's
it
what I'm
now.
saying. We're not seeing it now. It's the problem with too many
Haven't
belts,
seen it in
though.
a couple of years.
It's the problem with split roster and too many belts. So it can be easily
So,
fixed.
well, we talked about. I did actually watch it, and I agree with two of the matches that Cody had brought up for highlights. For me, the tag team gauntlet match, whatever you call it, was just boring. It just went on way too long, and
I can see that.
I miss Jason
but-
Jordan. He should have been a thing. Sucks he got hurt.
He got hurt.
My third match that I would put in there though was actually the Becky and Mickie James match. That was actually a very good match. They put on a good show.
It was a good opener. I'd forgotten about the La Luchadora storyline. I'm glad that they recapped that during the show.
Yeah.
I thought that was clever to bring her back. It was crazy, too, that it was only 5 years that she had come back after all those years' absence. And what she accomplished in her run, unfortunately, how she was treated with her exit, and then her recent comeback at the Rumble this year, and then now repping...
Which was Jay-Z bringing the belt from a different company.
But I'm saying now repping Impact, not even under contract with them, and working with NWA. So the representation that we talk about here is the main theme of our podcast. That's incredible for breaking down these barriers that we, hadn't seen before. However, there was an asterisk for her representation of Impact. There were a lot of words they couldn't use. They couldn't talk about
Knockouts.
Couldn't use knockouts. Couldn't use wrestling. There was a bunch of things that were no-nos.
Yeah, they called her Impact Women's Champion instead of what that title is actually called.
They couldn't use social media tagging. There were a couple other things there was a list that was provided from the dirt sheets. I found that really interesting. And I get it. You want to control the content that is shown on your screen. But it worked out, the relationship for Impact, by lending that belt and her as the champion, because they had their highest rated episode in years following that Rumble. So it worked out really well. So, props to that relationship. Hopefully it opens up for more. I'd love to see it. That's what wrestling needs to be, in all honesty. One of the things... Go ahead.
I was just going to bring back the crazy part in the chamber match for me. That Styles... Bray Wyatt threw the power bomb, throwing Styles over his back halfway across the ring. That was a crazy, crazy bump. I think that was the biggest one in the whole match for me. And as much as I did like it, it felt like just a letdown. Like that was Bray pinning Cena was the end of the match. Like the rest of it was just like you knew it was going to happen at that point. Didn't matter.
I enjoyed Baron Corbin getting eliminated and taking Dean with him after he was done.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. It added value to his character and just his menacing thing. As much as I don't like the guy or the character, I'm surprised at the run he has had on this roster. Ultimately surprised and impressed the ability to reinvent himself with
3 times.
Well, 3 times in the long-term storytelling too. With the losing everything, looking homeless, and then his comeback with Madcap, or not Madcap. What the hell's his name?
It is Madcap.
It is okay. Thank you. Yeah, and Happy Corbin now. It's just crazy stuff.
Going from the lone wolf with his straggly hair, and then deciding, okay, I'm going to get rid of it and becoming Constable Corbin, which just got him even more hate.
Mm-hmm.
And then, being able to transform into this Happy gimmick, which is my least favorite of them.
I loved the one before the Happy when he was so poor he was trying to be desperate. I thought that was hilarious.
The mustard stained white shirt.
Oh yeah, that was so great.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing a mid-card character and he's owning it. So props to him. Again, not his biggest fan. Hell, I can't even say I'm a fan. But hey, he's adding value to the product and he's owning it. So good on him. Good on WWE for doing something for him too, because you can't say that for a lot of the roster. So he's been a constant, which again you can't say for a lot of the roster. One thing I miss, and this pay-per-view really showed me I missed it, Mauro Ranallo.
Mm-hmm.
That man is an incredible talent in the commentary booth. But this also had a problem. This pay-per-view had a 4-man commentary crew. Could you imagine 4 people on an episode of something trying to talk about something?
No, I could never.
Terrible idea.
Awful. Awful ideas. You talk
Especially
over
when
each
one of them
other.
is JBL.
Example, see? But no, they did have a problem with talking over each other. I just hate JBL. I hate JBL. He's a piece of shit. I hate JBL. Did I say he's a piece of shit? Because I hate JBL. I really despise that man. And I despise him even more because he's part of the reason that Ronaldo's gone.
And Corey Graves.
And I don't like Corey Graves either.
Yeah, Corey said a lot of very negative things.
He seems like a snake.
him out of there.
Well, he just seems like a snake to do whatever it takes to keep his job. You know, he's one of those yes men. If it was back in the day, he'd be part of Vince's Kiss My Ass Club. You know it too.
Mm-hmm.
He would buy all the chapstick and line up.
Weren't you just giving Rob crap about his lack of inclusion? And now you're just throwing people under the bus.
What do you, no. I said anyone can. It doesn't mean they're right or wrong.
Right.
And I'm defending Ronaldo. I said it should be there. I never said JBL shouldn't, even though he shouldn't be there.
JBL. You just said that you're calling out JBL.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to. Anybody can call anybody out. I didn't say they can't do that. Everyone should have the opportunity to do that. Doesn't mean they're right or wrong. That's what I said. Rewind the tape. Everyone should be included. See?
So even including JBL, you think he should be included?
Yeah,
That's what I heard.
Included in getting fired. So he's included in the unemployment line. I know another company that'll take him, right, Cody?
I don't.
Oh, shit. It's like that? They don't even want him?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Too much of an asshole.
He really is. He really is. And man, is he racist, too. Man.
One of my favorite things ever is Stevie Richard completely bending a steel chair around his face. That was great.
He deserved it. You know what he did to Blue Meanie?
Oh, I that's why it's so great.
What about him getting knocked out in Brawl for All?
Who, JBL?
Yeah,
He deserved that, too.
legit knocked out.
Yeah. It's too bad. But
That
yes,
whole thing was made to get him knocked out. That's hilarious. That's the funniest part to me. Is they made Brawl for All to hurt him.
Oh, good. He deserved it. Trash. Can't say that word on Facebook, so I'm saying it here.
Mm.
You can't say somebody's trash on Facebook?
No, you say men is trash or men are trash on Facebook, you'll be in Facebook jail real quick.
I say that all the time.
No, you don't. You'd be in jail. Trust me.
I don't have enough people that report me, I guess.
Doesn't matter, their algorithm. I said it
They have
once.
keywords.
Yeah, I said it once.
I
and
said the word kick and I got banned.
Yeah, in a role-playing chat.
I got told I had to stop when we were doing the not chat, and I brought up, and people referenced Sting.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, it's a good thing we didn't go beat somebody with a bat, and like Facebook was like, no, comment deleted. You can't say that. It's promoting violence. I was like,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
I kept peeling. I was like, it's literally talking about things that happen in wrestling in the
They're
90s.
protecting people from you. Look at you right now. You fit the profile. They're afraid.
Right. We know you're trying to inspire an army with bats.
You
Look
were.
at you.
We know what you're up to. You fit the profile.
They were onto you.
Another fun thing I took note on that I wanted to point out, and this is how the mighty fall too. Every time somebody was getting counted out during the match when the referee was counting, they weren't counting, they were just chanting 10. That was how over Ty Dillinger was during this period of time. The perfect 10. He went.
Now.
I mean, what is he doing now, though? Like, that's the thing.
The chairman, he's a MJF lackey.
But that's not good. He had such potential when he went to AEW. And then nothing. No. He had potential. The man had potential. No, man.
His first day, he did a real chair shot to Cody Rhodes' face and got blacklisted.
Sometimes
he cut his head open, wide open, real life cut. Wrapped the chair around Cody Rhodes' head, had him sliced.
Hey, he should put his hand up then.
Well, Cody Rhodes probably shouldn't have said "lay into me" like that either.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're
He told him to lay into him.
Yeah, we're sitting here blaming him completely. It's not completely his fault, but he should have been a thing. In all honesty, he should have been a bigger thing. If Zack Ryder can get over with the IWC, Ty Dillinger should have gotten over with his run in AEW.
Matt Cardona has done some amazing things out there. He has completely reinvented himself. Ty Dillinger, I think he only would have been great if he kept the 10 gimmick. I don't think that Shawn Spears could have gotten over.
I think
as a heel. He tried to come in as a heel.
I think
he's never. Yeah. Matt Cardona, he's done some wild stuff, knowing he's going to get hate, knowing he's going to go into the ballroom and just get booed and trash thrown at him and everything else.
Well, the other problem was he did what the memes now say that you do when you join AEW. You feud with Cody and then you go to Dark.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe his problem was he feuded with Cody and then he went to Dark.
Well, Cody's gone now, so.
Is he though? That's the big conversation. Breaking news today. Is Cody Rhodes actually gone from AEW?
That's what they say.
Yeah.
That's what Busted Open was talking about today. Old Bully Ray.
Oh, Bully Ray. I have a love and hate with his podcast. He says some really good things and then some just, man. But yeah, the thing I really didn't like was the 4-man commentary. And then ultimately, the thing I loved, a huge supporter of this character, Bray Wyatt, winning the belt. Sadly, his run would come to an end at the very next pay-per-view he's on, and that was WrestleMania. He would drop the belt to Randy Orton. So like an 8-week title reign, not even. And that sucked. That sucked a lot because Bray Wyatt
longer than I've ever held the WWE title.
I mean, sure, yeah. But again,
this also led to the Fiend, though.
It did lead to the Fiend, but then the Fiend led to nothing. The Fiend led to more disappointment with this guy. This guy was unbelievable on the mic and pretty good in the ring, and they failed every single time to properly book his characters. Every single time. He would deliver the most incredible promos we'd heard in years, the most convincing, full of conviction and passion, and then he'd lose the damn match. You're like, slowly that stock you have in this character fades by match or loss after loss after loss after loss. And you're like, okay, you got the whole world in your hands and they're going to lose. You got this, you're the menacing feed gimmick, and then you have a just match stoppage in a Hell in a Cell match? What the hell is that?
Yeah, disqualification in a Hell in a Cell. That's great.
Like, what are you doing? And it wasn't just one time. It was time after time with gimmick after reinvention of this guy's characters and ideas. They buried him. In his very last match at WrestleMania, it was a 2.5 to 3 minute match. And he got betrayed by Alexa Bliss and a character they went on and used with a doll that copied him for a good maybe year. And then she's now done with that gimmick. Like,
nope, they don't. It's coming back.
What?
They had the doll last night. They gave her the doll back at therapy.
Uh-huh.
But I thought she passed all her counseling.
Yeah, she did.
Gave to her,
so
and
they're
then
toying.
she announced she's going to be in the Elimination
Justin is so
Chamber.
confused here. I love listening to
this. She's gonna be in an Elimination Chamber now. But yeah, she was given the real doll that was destroyed. It was stitched back together and given to her.
Oh boy.
And the counselor said that she'll be fine as long as she keeps Lily with her at all times.
Yeah.
The only thing,
basically, all of that counseling to just have her come back.
Nothing.
I mean, it's good build for return of character. At least they gave her that instead of randomly reappearing and then getting a title match. Like,
yeah, they gave her the Fiend gimmick because Bray's.
So the only thing I hope for out of all this, while she's doing the best she can with this, you got mixed feelings from fans, obviously, because you're still reminded of what could have been and should have been. That's a problem. The only thing at the end of all this is, for the love of God, if you're going to sign anybody, don't sign Cody Rhodes. Give us the Fiend back. Like, what the hell?
He's not coming back.
I know he's not, and it sucks. It sucks so much.
Did you see his tweet?
Yeah, he said, get me off that list.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's bitter. Whatever.
I'd be bitter. I'd be bitter too.
That's fine. Everybody, go lick your wounds. You'll be back. Hell,
The guy is a creative genius.
He is. But everyone has a price and everyone licks their wounds and they'll be back. Because if it's true that Cody Rhodes left AEW, the man that despised this company for very good reasons, if he comes back to WWE, anybody, Bret Hart came back for God's sake. Anybody, Ultimate Warrior came back for God's sake. Anybody can come back.
You don't need to remember that. Oh,
What?
we don't need to remember that the Ultimate Warrior came back. It's fine.
Whoa, dude, Warrior is awesome. Get out of here.
He died right after he came back.
He did the next day.
Yeah.
Well, at least he went out on top.
He probably got poisoned.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, that's something you do. Sorry.
It is, and it will happen. Dakota King.
So all you got to do to be famous is run, shake ropes, and then not lose when you're supposed to. That's all you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's Cody King.
And be stiff.
It's
Gotta
Cody
be
King.
stiff.
It's Cody King.
It's mess.
This mess. What a fucking joke that was. Good Lord. That's all we have, unless you guys want to add more to the Elimination Chamber. Check it out.
Nope.
It was a good match. The right person won at that time. Yeah, Justin loved it. He gave a thumbs up. So
Overall, decent pay-per-view. Some of the filler matches were 100% meh.
yeah, they were filler.
Yeah.
Like
Like Natty and Nikki.
that match was horrible.
That was a 14-minute boring match.
The promos, though, that build was better when they talked about John
Yeah,
Cena
but
leaving her, which ended up happening.
The story was better.
It ended up happening.
But the problem is, and she's the better of the two sisters, but Nikki wasn't able to wrestle, so there's only so much you can do with her.
That's fine.
Another one that was completely meh was the Cruz and Dolph Ziggler match.
Yeah.
Those two guys in a match together, they should be able to do something cool, and it just wasn't.
I don't think they were given enough time. It was only 7 minutes long.
Yeah, it's too short.
And then Naomi and Alexa Bliss for the championship. It was nice. That was Naomi's first women's championship.
So, yes, we do have to acknowledge that she won and then entered as champion heading into Orlando, her hometown. So, good representation there. So, huge respect for WWE to doing that, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, they do the right thing sometimes. But speaking of love stories and representation, let's head into our main segment of the podcast. Let me throw up the graphic, and then we'll close out with our last segment here. Give me 1 second.